You're listening to the Second Look Podcast, where we take a closer look at what we're learning each Sunday at Connection Church to help you grow in your walk with Christ. Here are your hosts, Pastor Joe Terreri and Pastor Dan DeRochers.
Welcome to the Second Look. My name is Dan.
Y yo soy Luis.
Oh, Luis, go! Go! We're here talking about the good life, Psalm 1. But first, Luis, have you been watching some World Cup action?
Actually, I am not a soccer fan. So sorry.
my.
My father-in-law is Italia, and I don't even know where they're at. Are they even... I don't... Go back to...
Luis, I would not say that I am a soccer fan. However, have been watching a lot of World Cup.
And why is that?
It's exciting. It's happening in the U.S. It's last night's game was right here in Philadelphia.
Okay, Bill.
The opening game was incredible.
My only experience was at Foxborough many moons ago. My father-in-law and I had free tickets, so we went. Honduras versus USA. Let me just say there was probably 95% Hondurans.
Oh, wow.
And only a little bit of USAians.
Well, it probably matched the talent that was on the field at that time.
It's like a riot's about to break out.
Wow.
I told my father-in-law, listen, if it all goes, you're going to be mute. I'll take care of all the Spanish, and we'll get us out of here. You just don't talk.
That's really funny.
It. That's my extent of soccer.
Well, it's funny. Sports can really either bring us up or drag us down, depending on how invested you are in a team.
Now, when you say invested, what do you mean? Like financially? Because other than that,
unless
why
you're
are
a
you
citizen of Green Bay, no. But a lot of us spend our time thinking about, talking about, researching, learning. When I say some of us, I don't mean me.
Same here, for the record.
However, we are both fans of the same football team.
Correct.
Are you? And what's your baseball team?
Well, I'm mixed. Yankees, which they didn't do well, and Red Sox, which they're not doing. Yeah, it's a lose-lose.
No, but you spend time thinking about cheering for. At least where we're from in Massachusetts, it seems like the uniform, the cultural uniform, is all sports all the time.
All the time, yeah.
And a lot of times people can really be happy or sad based on what happened that day or the previous day in their sports team.
Or angry.
Or angry,
furious.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Why is it that something that we have no control over the outcome can affect our mood so much?
Dr. Phil? Why is that?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're sitting in the expert seat today.
No, I'm not. Not for sports. Let me see. Let me tune in to my Dr. Phil.
He's meditating.
Yes. That is the one thing I think we try to, as if we can, control.
Yeah.
Right? It gives us satisfaction. Identity. Look where I'm from.
Yeah, that's a huge piece.
Right? I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. New York Knicks once the champions, but I don't...
that's not your identity.
That's not my... Yeah. Though, however... I'm sorry. I'm going to... Spike Lee, supporter of Knicks. Anyway. Sorry. Digress. But yeah, there's no... I don't know what's the psychological component to that.
That's a great question. But I do think, when we look at Psalm 1... and talking about blessed is the man, right? And we're talking about being planted and rooted.
It's the best.
And just one of the opening lines from yesterday was that a truly happy person is not found in a milestone. It's found by planting your life in the right place. And the place isn't necessarily a physical well, it's not a physical location.
Correct.
But a lot of times our identity can be found in the absolute geographical place where we feel planted.
The bigger house. Right?
Absolutely.
And that bigger house, all of a sudden, man, I wish I had just a few more square footage on the biggest house.
I identify with that. But the town where you live.
Oh, I remember when I first moved here, Dan, and we were talking. Our boys were playing football for the Northchester Red Knights, and we were talking to someone who we come to find out is maybe 10 minutes from us, and they said they live in Saratoga, and I said, well, we live in Pottstown. She's like, oh, that's so close. Where in Pottstown? Oh, not too far from Landis. Oh, I'm not too far from Landis. They wouldn't say that they live in Pottstown.
That's so interesting.
Their happiness was, I'm not from Pottstown. Nothing good comes out of Pottstown.
They were trying to elevate themselves.
Yeah, like Saratoga, my taxes go to Pottstown, so therefore Pottstown. But it's based on planted in a negative way. Your location and what you have, and you said milestone, right?
Yeah.
We're looking for our milestones. Our happiness is when we retire.
Yeah.
And yet I don't know what the statistics are, but retirement comes and depression kicks in.
Yes.
Because they found out, wow, my identity, who I am, is who I thought. My happiness was going to come from was not working. Well, now that I'm not working, I'm not happy.
Can we dig a little bit into work? Because I think, depending on whether or not you like your job.
Not here. Come on now. Not here, of course.
Not here. We love our jobs.
Seguro que sí.
I do love my job.
Yeah, word.
But I also don't live in the illusion that everyone loves their job.
Correct.
There's such a wide spectrum of ways that we can interact with employment. Some people, their employment is their identity. And, you could start naming different lines of work where maybe it's just because it's all encompassing with your brain space, or you find success in something, and so you really identify with that. You could have two people that do the exact same job. You could have a police officer, right? And one police officer that is always, wearing a police T-shirt, or is always, just putting themselves out there as like, I'm the one in charge and the top of the food chain. You could have someone else who that's their 9 to 5, and that's it. And
that's
then
not who they are.
You meet them outside of that, and you would never know that they're a police officer. Same way with any other line of work. And you have other people that what they do, not only do they not like it, they couldn't be more interested in it. Maybe, and then it kind of forks again, and it's like, well, I'm doing this to provide for
because
my family,
correct.
Right? Or I have
benefits.
a goal, benefits. I think about people that I know that work for the post office, and it's like, I didn't love every day, but man, did it do a good job providing for my family.
Zero happiness.
Maybe just some disgruntled things happening, but then other people that are in positions where they have no purpose, where it maybe doesn't do a good job providing for their needs, and maybe they also lack the confidence to find something else that maybe would provide them with a little bit of purpose, or would be a little bit better for their family. And we have all these different people on all these different parts of the spectrum that are all interacting with work, and work itself was around before the fall of man. Work is not a punishment.
Correct.
Right? It's a
blessing.
It's a blessing. We were created to work. And so when you talk about reaching this milestone and, okay, I can finally get to the point where I don't have to work anymore, the depression can set in because we're
created. That's good, Dave.
Created for purpose.
That's good.
We're created for work.
To produce. Right?
Absolutely.
To work the field.
And I think that can also come into play with, we think we're going to be happy if we had more leisure, or we are waiting for that vacation, or those kinds of things. And it's like, yeah, we can be happy on vacation, but a life dedicated to leisure is not necessarily a happy life.
Correct.
Because we're just looking for that hit of dopamine, or we're looking for
that the
beach, the sun,
the next
location, the next country off of our bucket list, the next city off of our bucket list, whatever it is. But true happiness is really not found in any of those things. But I want to go back to kind of the beginning, the pursuit
of Happiness. You ever see that movie? Pursuit of Happiness?
So
Yeah, anyway.
was that Will Smith?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking a lot about the pursuit of happiness because, like, sometimes in my life, there are, like, let's just say, things that I might want in my life.
Yes.
Right?
The pursuit.
And there's this desire for the thing. And I think the pursuit gives us a buffer. It gives us a reason to pinpoint that we aren't happy. And so we can kind of push on those things. Yeah, strive for for me,
work.
One thing that I have wanted for a long time, the last time I bought a new guitar was 2006. Ooh. It's been 20 years since I bought a new guitar, and I would love to buy a new guitar. And I've been working on Alicia for several years.
Alicia, come on, let a brother buy a guitar.
Well, here's the thing. It's been something, I know exactly what guitar I would buy. Glenn Bucci's been working on Alicia with me.
Okay.
Last Sunday, Glenn came down the stairs in the back room. He goes, I just talked to Alicia. She said I want him to do it whenever he wants to do it. Right? So I've got a green light in my life. But I know as soon as I do that, because it's been 20 years since I've had a new guitar. It's a new guitar. As soon as I get it, what's going to happen? I'm going to stop thinking about it. I'm going to stop thinking about it.
The rush.
The pursuit,
the pursuit
was the thing. It's almost like the thrill of the chase.
Yes, that's where the happiness is sometimes, right?
Sometimes it's that thing that drives us.
Yes, the rush.
And then the thing actually happens, and then
what?
It's off the table. What's the next thing?
Yeah, it's catching dust.
Maybe not. I mean, maybe my older one will catch the dust.
But it's an I don't know an evil trait in us.
Oh man,
that we pursuit. We get it, and then I wish, right?
Yeah.
I wish we would have. I wish, our deck outside. Well, we wish we would have spent a little bit more money to make it wider.
Yeah.
And Priscilla brought me back to reality the other day. She's like, "When are we really out here?
Yeah.
Why do we need a wider deck to say what? That we have a wider deck, the comfort of the stuff." Yeah. Of the pursuit.
So let's dig into the alternative, which is rooting our life in Jesus.
Amen.
And listen, for everyone listening, I know we are pastors. we're in the religious industry.
Yeah.
It's very easy for us to use churchy words, to use the vocabulary, to talk about rooting our life in Jesus. I just want to say clearly, it's more easier said than done.
Absolutely.
To do that kind of thing. So I want to talk about some practical ways that we can do things like love God's word and be planted exactly where God has put us and be planted and rooted in Him, as well as listening to the right voices and listening through God's word, through how He speaks to us. But just want to acknowledge right off the bat, easier said than done.
Absolutely.
And it's also a process. Just like plants grow and they start off as saplings and grow into big trees, this is a lifetime of being rooted in the Lord.
The cycle. It's a cycle, right?
Well, yeah, we could also talk about that.
Right.
There are seasons for everything. But Luis, how do you and Priscilla pattern your life on being rooted in the Lord? Just like practical things. Yeah, and even some of that cognitive dissonance that's in your head, because we all deal with all of these things. It's not like we've got this figured out and we're just talking about meditation. We're not just meditating all day long. We get it wrong every single day.
For sure.
But what are things that have happened in your life, ways that you've continued to be rooted in the Lord?
So recently, we've taken advantage of our morning drives. We go visit the gym in the morning, and it dawned on us, man, we could pray together there and pray together on the way back. Do we do it for that whole time? No, but at least we connect together in Jesus, right? We listen to a devotional Sing.com, 15 minutes, right? We listen to it separately. We talk about it. Just being intentional as a couple to be in the presence, to be planted, because we got 2 teenage boys, well, 1 teenage, 1 adult in the house. We need to be planted and rooted as parents.
Come on, somebody.
Listen, these hands want to, anyway, sorry. So sorry.
These hands were made to worship.
Sorry. You're not to, sorry.
That's so funny.
But intentionally listening, there's so many little practical, you're on the road. Sometimes just being quiet, turning off the radio, turning off just you and Jesus, right? And just taking time to I think yesterday, Pastor Joe mentioned it, I don't know in all the services, but he mentioned that right before in our huddle. Alicia actually was the one that led our huddle to say, hey, let's just take time to thank God. Yeah, like just be grateful. And I think that's part of being planted and rooted is gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude for what he's done. The more grateful you are, the more rooted you become in the one that's supplying, not supplying that like Jehovah Jireh, big house, big car, but just the more abundant life, the fruit, much fruit in our lives.
I think one other thing is intentionality. And you're describing intentionality of saying, hey, we're gonna put on a little instrumental music, we're gonna put on this devotional, we're gonna pray together. We have a lot of moments in our life that whether we know it or not, we waste a lot of time. Especially with devices that are I noticed, okay, so yesterday, long day, we're here for church, set up for summer fun camp. We had a couple other things going on, and I got home. I'm exhausted. I want to sit in a chair, and I had this like moment where I'm like, I think the girls were, I don't know, watching a show or a movie or something and doing their nails, and I'm like, I just want to scroll because I just want to be mindless right now.
Yeah.
And there's a book that I have been wanting to finish. I have a stack of books that
don't we all?
Why haven't I finished that stack of books? Because in those moments, it's like I just want to turn my brain off and scroll for a second, mindless, rather than being engaged in my mind. I'm not saying that
that's good.
Taking a moment to rest, which I also did that, but in that moment,
which is the most spiritual thing you could have done.
I've been told that multiple times. Like sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is take a nap.
Yeah.
And so I took that moment. I'm like, all right, the most comfortable thing, the most natural thing is to pull out my phone. I'm going to pick up the book.
You did?
I did. I picked up the book and read a couple chapters and honestly felt better about myself after putting the book down than I would have if I had just been mindlessly entertaining myself.
Yeah.
But that intentionality, I think, can come into play even on the weekend. Like, when you're coming into church, the church doesn't start at 8:30, 10, or 11:30.
That's good.
It really starts well in advance of that. How are we preparing our hearts? How are we utilizing the car ride? How are we meditating on the Lord so that the flywheel has already started once we hit the auditorium and worship starts?
And I don't need to be cranked up.
Yo, we all know it takes until the bridge of the third song to really get into it, right? Like we need a buffer from the outside world sometimes.
For sure.
But like, how can we intentionally prepare ourselves so that as we're arriving, our hearts are in the right place, a place of gratitude, a place of meditation? Are we opening the scriptures before we get into the room?
Come to church.
Are we patching things up with our kids or our spouse? Are we, is this our first and only time of the week thinking about Jesus?
All together in a vehicle, right? Yeah. Driving to church.
All of those things. So, I think for some of those things like that intentionality of saying, okay, what do I want to do? I want to put on sports radio. I want to
see what happened last night.
News, put on some tunes, like even just maybe that choice of turning off whatever radio we normally listen to and putting on a couple worship songs to prepare our hearts. Like that intentionality, I think, is really important. And I think some of the most happy people are the most intentional people because they're not letting life happen to them. They are actively choosing to do things that cause them to be engaged in their own life.
Not only in their own life, but in the life of Christ, right? Intentionally,
aligning those things.
Yes, to be planted and rooted. Someone had to plant that tree by the river.
Oh, and by the way, it wasn't us. We didn't plant ourselves.
Correct. That's a good point. We think, right, we're doing good. I'm happy because look at what I did. Look at where I planted myself. Jesus. Right, so it goes back to Jesus. Cliché-ish, pero that's where it's at. Yeah. Right? Our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness.
That's right.
So.
That's right. And Luis, I hope that you find the goodness in the game of soccer over the next number of weeks.
Ay, Señor mío.
Well,
was that your goal? That was his goal.
Goal! Well, this has been another episode of The Second Look. You can catch this sermon and much more at our website, cometoconnect.com. Have a great week.